All right, where we at? Volume 17
17.
of Show Your Work, the Rick Fox episode, I guess, in a sense.
The Rick Fox episode.
You
That's
gotta make it
hilarious.
pretty. You gotta make it pretty, I guess. They call him Pretty Ricky.
I mean, I guess so, but
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I don't call him that. I don't, you know what I mean?
I
But
ain't calling that man no fucking pretty Ricky.
yeah, I don't call no grown man pretty, but that's apparently what they call him. So, you know what I mean? Shouts out to Rick Fox, I guess.
The episode 17 we here. Yours truly, Nelson, with my guy, the producer, the Beige Alchemist, aka Basin Kid.
Basic. Oh yeah. I forgot that alias. That's the new one now.
Yeah, man, that's you, bro. You Basin Kid, bro. You passing. You know, you hit the three. You hit the three if you need to.
Yeah, later on in the career, because remember in the beginning he couldn't really shoot, but he
Yeah,
developed that real fast.
they had to fucking threaten that motherfucker to shoot. They're like, if you don't fucking shoot the goddamn ball, they said
Mm-hmm.
they used to curse him. I'm like, bro, shoot the ball, bro. And now he a top
That
10.
was
Not he not in the top 10 anymore. He 11th now because Dame Lillard is not in the top 10, but 3 pointers all time. But yeah,
man. I swear up and down, I thought he was like in the top three for some reason. I don't know why. Because remember he got up to that top 10 fast as hell.
yeah, because all he could do was shoot at one point. He couldn't just run from end to end no more. So
Right, he got slow fast. Like as soon as he got to the Mavs, it was like, all right, bro, yeah, you got to get this championship, or else.
definitely,
Even though I didn't think they would win the championship, but he was really at that
definitely,
point.
yeah. Nah, he was going wild. Definitely, Jason Kidd. Shout out to Jason Kidd, man. They had him looking like Elmer Fudd on the Knicks, but he gave me a couple of good years, so I'm cool with that. But speaking of another light skinned brother, speaking of
Hey,
another light skinned brother who can shoot, what happened? What happened?
no, real quick, I was about to say that. I remember they kept saying that because he had that big ass headband on.
Yeah, he was looking crazy. I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, never mind.
He like a drunk Puerto Rican on Graham Avenue.
Hey, bro. I don't know if I should say this, but fuck it. Remember his son used to have that big ass head.
Who?
He used to
Yeah,
be on the sideline.
TJ. TJ.
Yeah, he used to have
Yeah.
his son on the sideline. That's all I used to say. I was a shorty saying like, man, that kid got a goddamn cranium on him.
He did though, bro. He grew into that shit though. So shout out to him, I guess.
I thought he was gonna make it to the league for some reason. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like the Steph Curry type thing. Like, all right, I'm here on the sidelines with my pops. I got an NBA dad, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe he doing something else because I swear up and down I thought he was gonna go to the league.
I think he is doing something else. I just don't remember what exactly. But hold on. I'm about to research this actually. I could have sworn. Sorry, I'm eating grapes, y'all. That's not a podcast etiquette, but a brother needs to eat. Hold on a second. I'm looking right now. I could have sworn his kid was doing something.
Where's
Yeah,
Jason Kidd? Because Jason is on the assistant. He one of the assistants, right, for the
he's an
Lakers.
assistant for the Lakers now. Yeah, but you know what's fucked up? If you Google Trey Jason Kidd, it says Trey Jason Kidd head. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Let me see. It's foul for looking it up, but we here. This is showing your work. Jason Kidd.
Yeah, his name's Trey Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
That's his son's name. He's 22. That's crazy. I remember when that kid was
Little,
young.
right?
Bro, we getting old. Bro, you know how we know we getting old, bro? You know what I watched the other day? And I was telling my girl about this. I watched a Baller's Life a minute highlight tape of Carmelo Anthony's son.
Yeah.
And he was doing Carmelo footwork. I was like, bruh, this is fucking crazy. Like he was doing the little jab step. He was even laying it up like his dad. He was doing turnaround. I said, God damn, bro, we getting old.
Bro, the
You
thing
got it
is,
on the left.
gee,
Oh my,
what?
bro.
His Dom Toretto.
That's crazy.
It's about family. That's all it is. It ain't
This
coming
kid
up,
did do
man.
like Vin
Shouts out to
Diesel
the
though.
slow ass computer I got.
His
Oh,
kid
I
do
forgot
like Vin
Jason
Diesel
Kidd
though.
do got another son. He got like an older son. He do. He got the Toretto head. He got to go
He
bald
got the
already. God damn, bro.
Toretto. It's crazy.
And
Yo,
I feel bad
Toretto
if this
had it. Yo,
my
Toretto
son
head is crazy.
Toretto, bro. It's about family. You embarrass me.
That is
That's funny.
crazy.
Nah, his son, Carmelo's son, just be yakking up threes, bro. You know how Melo got the pull up at the top of the arc. His son
Yeah,
be
but
doing that everywhere on the floor.
nah, but his son was balling though. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, damn, his son is
Imagine his
son
son
allowing
be
this
just
to be
like
done.
just a good, be the same version as Melo the God, but instead he in shape. Because remember, like Melo stopped being out of shape in like 4 years. No, 07 when he cut his hair, he got out of shape.
Right.
Like I don't know what he was eating when he in 07, but he cut his hair and he got a he I don't know, bro. I don't know if he was trying to play center or power forward or what, but he got he gained weight after he got that haircut.
I mean, his
He
son is a
lost a
wrestling fan though, so that's what's up.
oh really Carmelo's son
Nah, Jason Kidd's son actually.
is a wrestler fan.
Yeah, his kid was at WrestleMania.
This past one?
Yep.
How you find that out?
Hey man, you just gotta do some Googles. Nah, his Instagram popped up. So I was like, oh shit,
Oh, okay. Okay. I need him and The Rock to have a match. They look alike.
bro, what is going on with you, dog?
Man, cause we gotta have something. This is side though, but we here. Cause they gotta do something next year for WrestleMania. I ain't trying to see no Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns or Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Y'all better put this together. A triple threat, another triple threat. Roman Reigns versus Jason Kidd's son versus a Fatal Four versus Dom Toretto
Yo, what's wrong
versus
with you,
The
bro?
Rock. Like
What's up with you? That's Survivor Series.
I know that definitely is Survivor Series. The first one, headbutt the other one and passes out, loses.
But they're gonna call you to be on that team. You Bajan Dart and you Bajan Blood. You feel right then.
Hey, bro, listen. They don't want to bump heads on me. Pause. Everybody going to sleep.
Go ahead with the Umaga, the Spike.
Hey, yeah, hey, that's what my dude Dabo Kunta doing. He doing the spike now.
What did you just call him? Dabo Kunta? What's his name
Dabo
again?
Kato, right? Dabo Kunta.
He sound like a Star Wars motherfucker.
Bro, that's what I be calling him. I know his name Dabo Kato, but he Kunta.
Kunta Kato.
Kunta Kato, yeah. That's better than
shit.
Dabo Kunta. Yeah, he did the spike. My son out here spiking people now.
They gonna call him Dabo Swinney and fuck around. Watch.
Dabo Sweeney. Dabo Mubato or Dabo Mutombo.
Dabo Mutombo is crazy. Dabo Mutombo.
He used a finger, didn't he, to hit what's the name the other day on SmackDown? So there you go. He some with the finger.
Dabo Kato. Yeah. Speaking of light skinned brothers, this man Wardell Stephen Curry II, bro.
MVP.
Listen, he heard y'all, and I mean y'all. I mean, it may not be whoever is listening, but it could be the people on social media who said Stephen Curry was finished. But we were saying Stephen Curry was going to make the play. We said the Warriors may fuck around make the playoffs, and people thought we were bugging out. I said it multiple times. I said, bro, you cannot underestimate somebody who's made the playoffs like Stephen Curry, bro. Because he is, bro. Oh my! Listen, I'm gonna read these stats off. Let me read some because this should show you. Let's read some numbers. Go ahead.
Can I say that?
Go ahead.
Let me say that. Yeah, because we did talk about this when we first started the show, but I think the first episode, if I'm not mistaken.
We
But
did.
let me tell y'all the numbers because I know off the top of my head, for the most part, the point per game average. 32.1, if I'm not mistaken.
30. I think it's
And
31, but you're close.
yeah, 31, about 43% from three, if I'm not mistaken, and 50% field goal percentage. I could be off.
I got you right now. You said again, what, 31?
31 points. I believe 43% from three, and then 50% field goal percentage, if I'm not mistaken.
You're actually pretty close. 31.2 points per game. He's averaging 31.2 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 5.8 assists. His shooting clip right now, 92% from 92.5% free throw. I'm trying to pull it up now. 3-point percentage, 42.5%. Field percentage, 48.9%.
Yeah, see, I'm always in the ballpark of that, but that's
Yeah,
still nothing.
you were right there, but
That's still nothing to wave a hand at, like, bro. That's insane. As far as like the 3-point and the regular field goal percentage, like, mind you, this dude not getting to the rim, he's shooting.
right, like his
That,
clip.
that,
Not good, bro.
no. It's just that's his game. Like, I think people fail to realize that he's just shooting.
I mean, it's Stephen Curry. People forget that he is Stephen Curry. Like they thought, oh yeah, he's done, and I'm like, bro, people who could shoot, like even if he were to lose his mobility, like he could still shoot into his late 30s, his late 30s if he wanted to. If he ended up becoming a spot shooter, which is dangerous. But at the clip he's doing it is just absolutely incredible. And people were writing him off, and I'm like, bro, it's amazing how quickly you guys turned on a team that, granted, was playing with full of G League and second and bench guys for basically a whole year. Because mind you, Clay, Steph, and Draymond were hurt. And Steph is that good that he could power this team. This is honestly, and I don't like comparing seasons because then it turns into a whole thing if when this comes out, but I could care less. This is 2006 Kobe. At a much more efficient rate, but like let's pull up some numbers here, bro, because 5 days ago, okay, so his unanimous MVP season, right? He was averaging 30 points per game, 30.1 points per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, 6.7 assists per game, 2.1 steals. His true shooting percentage was 66.9%. That's the everything combined, right? This year, this was a couple days ago, 31.4 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 1.2 steals. His turnovers per game were the same at 3.3. His 3 points made were 5.2, and the true shooting percentage was 66.5. So right now he's the scoring leader in the league. He overtook that from this crazy week that he had. He overtook Bradley Beal, so he's up by percentage points. At one point, he made 72 threes in the last 10 games, more than Chris Paul, Tobias Harris, Russell Westbrook, Pascal Siakam, Giannis, and Joel Embiid the entire season.
Where is he at?
What'd you say?
I'm sorry, bro. I'm thinking about something right now. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll say my thought for after you done.
No, we're almost done. Stephen Curry in April, the first 10 games, he was averaging 40.8 points per game, 7.2 3-points made on 55, 50, and 91%. And the last 5 games, those 5-game stretch that he had 49 points on 10 threes, 47 on 11 threes, 33 on 4 threes, 42 on 11 threes, and 53 on 10 threes. And y'all fucking thought that Stephen Curry was done for.
It's funny that the first couple of games, I guess he was trying to find his rhythm just because, last season he only played, 21 games, or he only averaged 21 points last season.
He barely played.
Yeah, he barely played last year. That's when it was basically like the tank season, as they were calling it. I don't think it was a tank season. They were just losing, which is fine. And I'm thinking about right now how, the first couple of games, or the media was saying that, can he do it? Can he carry a team, et cetera, et cetera? And he's basically doing it right now. without Clay, who's probably out. Like, I mean, the season starts again in October, November, wherever they're gonna do it, unless they push it to December, like they did this past year. So either way, he's gonna be out for a longer extended amount of time. Draymond, even though he doesn't score a lot, he's efficient for their system. He basically a point forward and he plays defense, but it looked like he's starting to. It looked like, honestly, I want to tell you this a while ago. It looked like Draymond's career is coming to an end, and that's maybe why he's on TNT a lot to get warmed up for media because it looked like his career about to be over. Like
It's
these foot
absolutely about to be
injuries and
over.
him getting 2 points and maybe 5 rebounds. Yeah, it's almost over. So they got to look to, if they don't make the playoffs and then they get a pick, they definitely need to try to get a power forward. They need another big. But other than that, what I can say about him is, and I'm looking at the Kia MVP leaderboard right now. Hey man, I'm gonna be honest with you. He should be. He said it the other day, and I posted it. You gotta look at him for MVP. I understand that Jokic, I understand that Joe Embiid had better records, but when you think about these stats, like man, he's been doing this, consistently. But it's like the MVP seasons is when the numbers really spike up. But he's been doing this consistently since I want to say 2014 with these type of stats. Like he changed the game 7 years ago. He changed the face of basketball, or the organization as a whole changed the face of basketball. 7 years ago. Like I'm looking at it right now. They got Jokic. He changed the sport of basketball overall. Like I'm looking at the Kid MVP leaderboard right now. They got Jokic at all these are just guesses, but they got 2 centers at for the MVP voting, which is pretty good because it's rare that centers win it, or in this day and age. They got Jokic at number 1, who's averaging 26.4 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, 8.7 assists, which is insane for a center, and then 1.4 steal. And then you got Joel Embiid, who everybody basically has considered to be the clear-cut favorite, even though he hasn't played a lot of games, or he's played a lot of games, but the past couple of games he's been on and off. I know he got a shoulder injury now.
He regressed a bit.
Yeah, but his season stats are still 31.1 or 30.1 points per game, 11.1 rebounds, 1.4 blocks per game. I think they also had him for defensive player of the year, right? Contention.
He's up there. Gobert's up there. Simmons is up there. There's a couple people.
Oh no, Ben Simmons. Some people are saying Ben Simmons might win defensive player of the year. Then they got Giannis is 3, Luka at 4, and then Steph at 5. I mean, like I said, if it's my vote, you got to go. It's all based on, people in the media that get the votes. If I'm getting a vote to somebody, it's Steph Curry. I mean, but at the same time, I can understand if you give it to Joker, if you give it to Joe Embiid, just based on solely the record, because that's what it's supposed to be based on. But then it's the argument they had on Inside the NBA about, it being a single accolade, but also, one side was saying it's about team record as well, even though it is a single accolade. Right. The reason why Russ got it in 2017 is because he averaged a triple-double, something that wasn't done for 40-plus years. And, I mean, hell, he doing it again. Like, I think this is his 4th season averaging a triple-double, not 4th straight, but 4th season overall where he's averaging a triple-double.
This is either his 3rd or his 4th.
Yeah, that's insane. I think it is his 3rd because if I'm not mistaken,
I'll tell you. I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, because 2016, 2017 season, he averaged a triple-double. Then I think in 2017, 2018 season, he averaged a triple-double. Because last year, he was just averaging – he was getting low-key big man numbers, and he a point guard on the Rockets. He was getting 28 and 10, I think, rebounds, somewhere around that. Or at least, before the season went on pause.
Actually, Banks, this is his 4th year. No, let's see. Yep, this will be his. If he finishes with the same numbers, it'd be his fourth year because 2017, he averaged 31.6 points per game, 10.7 rebounds, 10.4 assists. The year after, it was 25.4 points, 10.1 rebounds, 10.3 assists. The year after that, 22.9 points, 11.1 rebounds, 10.7 assists. This year, he's averaging 21.9 points, 11.1 rebounds, and 10.9 assists per game. So this is his fourth year. He did it 3 years in a row in the 2017 year, 2017-2018 year, and 2018-2019 year. So this will be his fourth year.
Yeah, so I think you give him second team in that regard, and then you give that to Dame as well. Because once again, it's a triple. I don't care, man. This is another season of a triple double. I think at this point, people might be minute to it, so to speak, just because it keeps happening. But you still gotta give them second team at least for that one. Or they probably
he might get third or second team. But there's so many injuries too, so that some guys can sneak in because. I mean, even that, I've seen discussions about people thinking that Julius Randle may be a second team now. He was third team, and I was like, oh, he may be second.
No, he should be second because your Knicks are in playoff contention. They won 9 straight games. They're the 4th seed in the East, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, he's averaging 25.1, if I'm not mistaken, or 24.1, somewhere around there. He's averaging that, and
24.
Yeah, so that's second team, and it's a winning record. That's definitely second team.
24 points, 10.5 rebounds, 6 assists a game. Those are his.
That's second team.
Yeah, that's second team notoriety definitely. But in regards to Curry, though, if the Warriors make the playoffs, he could win the MVP. The thing is, if they make the playoffs, but with the rate that Embiid and Jokic are going, and I think if either of them were to win, they'd be the first big man in I think the last person to win, the last big man to win an MVP was
Tim Duncan.
It was either Duncan or Shaq, but a center. Because remember, Tim Duncan is technically listed as a power forward, but
he is center. No, it was definitely him because it was 03 when he got it.
Let's see, he won MVP 03.
Yeah, that's the last big man to get. No, KG, because KG got in 04.
But I think because Jokic and Embiid are centers, that I think the last center to win it. Yes, we know. We know that they're stretch 4 guys, and KG won it at 04, but an actual build as a center who doesn't play the 4, it would be Embiid or Jokic. So.
Yeah, I got to remember that too, because even though it's kind of I think of it as a big man is the center. Sometimes they say the power forward is a big man. It's like you got sometimes they don't know the distinction between a big man and a power forward. It's just all right, bro, which one is it? He playing the 4 or 5? That's how I see it in my head.
Yeah, Jokic is a 5, and then for Embiid, they list him as a center or power forward, but he primarily plays center. So,
who put him as a power forward?
Fucking Wikipedia. I don't know why. I think maybe he wasn't a 4 early on. I could have sworn he wasn't, but
no, he was bro. He's 7'1".
Yeah, but
he's 7'1" and always been 250, 260 for the past couple of years. He gained weight within that first 2 years of him when he was red shirt.
He's a center. Yeah, he's a center.
Yeah, he's tripping.
I don't know why he had him as a power forward, but yeah, he's a center.
Somebody did that because it's bro.
They fucking
not putting him at the 4.
Well, yeah. So basically, if Jokic or Embiid win, they'd be one of the first centers since either one of them would be the first actual center since Shaq to win it. But if Curry, if they honestly, bro, if they make, I'm sorry, Curry deserves a couple first place votes if they make the playoffs. Because this is at the rate that this guy is scoring, shooting, just putting his team in position to win games is just absolutely insane. And we talked about this the first episode. We said this is Stephen Curry. This is the guy who changed the sport of basketball. Mm-hmm. How do you just quickly diminish what he did. Like he had, like it's Stephen Curry, bro. And people
Yeah.
say, nah, like you can't put, no, definitely not. Like you can't put him in those positions. I'm like, bro, how? Like look at bro. He played 5 games. Okay, if you take away last year, and we went through this again, his ever since 2012, 2013, that was his lowest points per game was 22.9. After that, it's been 23 and above.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, first of all, listen, man, they called us madman, they called me a madman, they called you a madman, they called anybody who said that Stephen Curry is going to be the same player that he's always been. They called us madmen. They said Stephen Curry was done for.
The thing is, if he was always the same player he's always been, that's not an issue. Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing that people don't understand. Like he hasn't had to evolve in years. Like the game, he made the game evolve. He hasn't had to evolve. The game has. So it's like he just took his point per game average. Like he's definitely gonna be scoring champ. I think he'll definitely get some first place votes. Will he win it? I think me and you are both saying yes. I don't think he'll win it in this regard, just because the record. Even though if you have a playoff tournament, I think he should win because technically, if I win that, then I make the playoffs. I don't know how they're going to do that, and I keep forgetting they got to do the playoff tournament this year. So May 18th it starts. Uh, Shouts out to the Grizzlies too, because damn, they've been sneaking in the past 2 seasons. Like, bro, how are they making it into the playoffs? The Grizzlies.
Right.
I don't
I
watch
mean,
no
they're
Grizzly
right now.
games.
They're because things with the team now. Well, now with the Grizzlies, they have Jaren Jackson. You know, I guess we'll segue into the playoff races. But Jaren Jackson came back, so that's been helping. But with Ja's been just Ja Morant's been playing pretty well. He's been, you know, and that's the thing with that Grizzlies team is that team goes where Ja Morant goes.
Mm-hmm.
So you know there is that. There is that like they're up on the Blazers right now with six with 7 minutes on the fourth, and I think with the Grizzlies I think are either eighth or ninth. The Warriors and the Grizzlies are right next to each other in regards to the standings. So I'm gonna pull up the things right now while we're pulling it up. Let's see the West. All right, yeah. Well, the Warriors right now are 10th. The Grizzlies are eighth. Like between eighth and 10th seed, it's a game. It's split by 1 game. Memphis is number 8 with 30 and 28. The Spurs are 30 and 29, and the Warriors are 30 and 30. So, and the Portland Trailblazers have split to 7th because they have not been playing well at all. So,
You said the Trailblazers,
yeah, they slipped to 7th. Remember, they were like 3rd or 4th.
bro. It's all right. Let me talk about them for a second. It's been about what 5-6 years now with this whole CJ and Dame trio
Yep.
double team thing. I'm sorry, they need to let it go, bro. Because it's like, all right, one person to be hurt. Like I know CJ was hurt a lot this past season, and then Dame was, he was in contention for MVP as well. Like they were talking about him because they had the 5th record at that point. They always have injuries, overall for the team, and then now Dame is out, CJ out. Then when they get to the playoffs, it's kind of like, they play this whole. It's the same thing that's going on with the Celtics right now. It's like yo ball, my ball, type thing. I just want to get my points in. Not saying that, that's necessarily a bad thing, but for the play style of Dame, who is basically a shooting guard that plays the 1, it's like, all right, you expect him to get you 28 or get you a bucket. With CJ, you expect him to get you a bucket, but it's like it's only one. It's like the same thing I say with the Nets, but it works with the Nets because you got Kevin Durant. It's like, bro, it's only one basketball. And in the case of the Trailblazers, it's only one basketball, and they can't figure it out. And it's not on Terry Stotts. It's not on him at all. It's more so them two. Like they got to do something with them because it's been the past couple of years, and this experiment has not worked. Right?
It's a little
Obviously,
bit
you got
on
to get rid of
Stotts too.
CJ. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit on Stotts too because the thing is with Stotts is they don't really have. They really don't have an offense.
Right.
maybe that's just for me watching it, but I'm like, it's a very like, all right, get out of Dame's way or screen for Dame
Yep.
or screen for CJ, but like it's always something with them. Like they have to do some type of move because it's either CJ gets hurt, then when CJ comes back, fucking Nurkic gets hurt, then he comes back,
Mm-hmm.
then somebody else gets hurt, then he comes back. Like it's always a revolving door of somebody getting hurt. Then Dame is hurt, but Dame tries to play through every single injury because if Dame doesn't play, this team is even worse. You know, then it's like you can't, Carmelo Anthony, and I love, we love Carmelo Anthony on this podcast. Like I'm not slandering him, but this is not 24, 25, 26-year-old Carmelo Anthony. This is old Melo. So you can't depend on Melo all the time either. Like it's always one of the other two things. And I thought the Norman Powell Gary Trent Jr. trade was basically a swap. Even though I thought Gary Trent did fit better than him. But the thing is with the way Dame and CJ play, Norman Powell or Gary Trent Jr. are gonna have to sit in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were doing. And then you saw when CJ got hurt, Gary Trent Jr. was going crazy.
Yep.
If you let him do what he does, and they were winning games. So I just think unfortunately they're gonna as much as they want to keep them together, somebody has to go, and I think in this case it's gonna be CJ because
Oh yeah, no, you
it's
can't
just
get rid of
it's
Dame.
not working. It's not working. Like that's the only way. It's not working. You can't. There's no. It was let's put the right guys around them, but then the right guys around them always get hurt. I think CJ's gonna have to go. I don't know how you get who's gonna take him, who he would contribute for. I haven't looked to the analysis far enough for that, but I think it's that time, man, because it's always this. It's always this. They start the season well. Somebody gets hurt. They climb to the top four. They're in the top four for a long time for a good portion of the season. And then when teams are starting to trend upward and have their incline to for the seeding to be important, they slide down. Then it's like, oh shit, they're sixth, seventh, and eighth, but if healthy, this is the third, fourth, fifth place team in the conference, but somebody gets hurt and then they play like shit. Like it's always something with this team, and something's got to give. You have to trade somebody, or something has to. They have to shake something up, man. Like this can't happen every fucking year. It was the same thing last year. Last year they were at one point. Last year they were what, third? Weren't they third in the conference, and then they slipped to eighth because everybody got hurt.
Yeah. Then they had to do the play-in tournament,
Then they had to do
and
the
that's
play.
when
And
Dame was going crazy in the bubble.
And then what happened against the Lakers? He was too fucking tired because he was going crazy that they lost the game in 5. They lost the series in 5. And the same thing's about to happen now because now they're in the 7th seed and Dallas is in the 6th seed. Meanwhile, considering how fucking weird Dallas' season has been, they're in the 6th seed and Portland should not be in the play-in tournament. You would think it would be Dallas at the rate this is going, but
yeah, because with the Trailblazers too, it's just like you said, like Dame is too tired when they get to the playoffs because they style is just like dribble, shoot. It's dribble, and it's always hard shots. It's never an easy shot. And then when they try to get when they try to get a consistent center, they try to get it down low. He can't really play. You know what I mean? More so, they centers is like power forwards and shit like that. Like they got Ernest Canner, but he can't play defense. So it's always like, and that's supposed to help you, and they don't get it down low anyway. That's supposed to help you get your win back. So it's always like the only way they win, they got to do difficult shots. Like you said, go around screens. They got to pull up on people being Dame. So it's hard to do that. I also want to ask you this too. So I need to look at the overall seeding. But let's say in the case of this MVP, since we was talking about that, it's another player who should get votes, but he'll probably be second team, being Zion. And I don't even think they're close to making the playoffs at all. I don't even think they'll be in the play-in tournament.
They're basically 4 games back with 12 games to go in the season. They're 4 games back at the Golden State, who is 10th with a 30-30 record, and New Orleans is 26-34. So unless one of those four teams, whether it's Portland, Memphis, San Antonio, or Golden State, go on a really bad losing streak and New Orleans comes back, that something could happen. But New Orleans is just they're a very inconsistent team. Like it's like Zion or Bi does well, but then they just shit the bed at the end of games, just like they did against the Knicks last Sunday. They're very inconsistent and they're very
You know
young,
why?
where they make very young decisions.
No, it's not even because they're young. You know what it is? It is that's partially, but you know what it is? Stan Van Gundy. Once again.
I mean,
Stan Van Gundy. The panic artist, as Shaq calls him. It's always something, bro, with his teams.
Yeah, they've been losing. They've been losing. I think they have the most fourth quarter. Like they've lost the most of their games in the fourth quarter. Where they've been up 5 minutes left and they just lose. So
it's always something, bro.
I mean, and the thing is too with the Blazers I was going to say before, since Dame Lillard had that say less tweet, they've lost 4 in a row. 10 of their remaining 13 games are versus 500 teams, versus plus 500 teams, and the Blazers' record against plus 500 teams is 11-20. So, yeah, man, it's not looking good for Portland. I mean, I'm actually gonna look at their scores now. Let's see. Yeah, they've lost 1, 2, 3. They're on one. Yeah, they lost to the Hornets. 1, 2. They're about to be on a 5-game losing streak because they lost to Memphis on Friday and they're down 15 with 4 minutes left on today. And they play the Pacers tomorrow. They play the Pacers on Tuesday, the Grizzlies again on Wednesday, and then they go play the Nets on Friday. So it's not looking good for Portland.
The main thing I can say is, man, it's just if they just want, you know what I mean, obviously they don't have fans right now. If they want people to come to Trailblazer games, you keep this team the way it is. If you want to win and not get knocked out the first or second round, then you make adjustments.
Trade somebody. You got to trade. Somebody has to get traded, or you have to make the right signings. Like, because this is.
But every time they seem to make something in the sense that is the right signing, it never works out. Right. So maybe it is Terry Styles. I don't know. I feel like it's because that whole really the whole combination of CJ and Dame, man. Like it's one basketball, the game slows down. It's half court based in the playoffs, and that's when they get stuck.
Right.
That's always when they get stuck because it's like your turn, my turn type thing. And it's not enough touches for everybody else.
Right. I mean, Portland's schedule does not look good. Memphis looks like they're going to stay afloat. San Antonio, it looks like they're going to stay afloat too. Golden State plays Sacramento tonight, and then they play Dallas on Tuesday, which could help them too. So
I think they win those last 2 games.
I think
they could beat.
Let's see.
The Kings and the Mavs.
Yeah, they play the Kings tonight. They play Dallas on Tuesday. They play the Timberwolves on Wednesday.
Okay.
Then the Rockets right after that. Then they have a pretty favorable schedule. I mean, they play their remaining games. They play. I'm gonna tell you right now. So, like I said, Sacramento tonight, Dallas Tuesday. Then they play Minnesota and Houston back to back. Those teams are the 2 worst teams in the league who are out of the playoffs already. You have the Pelicans. So, say if the Pelicans don't win any games, the Warriors can knock the Pelicans out of the playoffs. They have a home and home. So, no, they have a back to back actually. So they play the Pelicans twice. Then they have a back-to-back against the Thunder. Then they have a game against the Jazz, the game against the Suns, and then the last game of the season is against the Pelicans. And then they have the Grizzlies and Warriors. They have the Grizzlies again. So if they beat the Grizzlies, they could get the Pelicans out of the playoffs. And if the Grizzlies happen to go on a slide and the Warriors win some of these games, the Warriors could get into that 8th or 7th, or maybe something happens where Portland keeps sliding and the Warriors keep trending upward. The Warriors could, move ahead in the seeding. Like other than
the teams that are already in the playoffs, like the Jazz, the Suns. Rather than those two, I think they can win every game. Those other games are winnable.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, they're playing against teams that either have the same record or are basically out of the playoffs. Which OKC's out of the playoffs, even though they're not eliminated yet. They are going to be out. Sacramento, Sacramento's basically out of the playoffs. They're 4.5 games out of the play-in seed. They're basically done. New Orleans is 4 games out. They're basically going to be done too. So I think these are the last 10. These are going to be the remaining 10. Golden State's going to make the playoffs. I just think now you have to win. These are winnable games that are going to help pad your record. And if Portland continues to slide, or Memphis and San Antonio lose a couple games, or even Dallas were to lose a couple games, they could slide. They could slide. They're only 3.5 behind the Dallas with 12 games left. God forbid one of those 4 teams goes on a losing streak and Golden State wins 8 of 10. They could climb up in the stats. So, but the thing is too, bro. If I'm any of these 4 teams, I do not want to play the Warriors.
In the playoffs?
Yes, I'm not scared. Portland, we know Dame is there, but Stephen Curry, like out of the Portland, Memphis, San Antonio, Golden State, the team I do not want to play against is the Golden State Warriors.
Well, the thing is, I understand what you mean. So the thing is, I'm thinking, I'm going off the top of my head about is in the past year we haven't had fans. So now I'm thinking like, does actual fanfare matter as far as the crowds? Like I know things in June are actually opening up in California, but
Right.
and I know the Lakers have been letting people in for games. I don't know. So more than likely they letting people in for games in San Francisco. But that's what I'm going off of. Does fanfare matter at this point? Just because it's like it's no fans there.
Right.
But at the same time, now teams are traveling, even though they kind of going back to back and they kind of staying in their same region. It's like teams are kind of traveling, so maybe the playoffs, are they going to do like? Is it still the same format it's been? Like what is it? 2-2.
It's
2-2.
2-2, 1-1-1.
Okay.
Yes, 2-2, and then they alternate.
Okay, they might. I don't know. I mean, the fans is coming in like that. It'll definitely benefit Golden State more than any other team because it'll benefit them as well. So let's say if they make the 8th seed, and this is how the season has been bad, at least in my personal opinion, because the Jazz are number 1. It's a crazy world we live in right now, where the Jazz are number 1 seed in the NBA, without Donovan Mitchell too. So,
yeah, but Utah's been holding the fort down since Donovan got hurt. But
this is a sick world we live in when the Jazz are number 1.
Yeah, but, I know Vernon Maxwell fucking kicking and screaming.
Oh no, he is. He like, how are y'all watching the games with nobody
no
outside? Yeah, nobody outside of Utah is watching those games, bro. Like I can't tell you the last time I seen the Utah Jazz game. Probably. Oh, no, I take that back. Like the last playoffs, but still, even then, it was like, all right. But I don't sit here and be like, oh, what time the Jazz play? No, but Golden State versus Utah. That's a 5-game series in favor of Utah. And I mean, we're going to start doing our predictions once we get close to the play-in tournament, or we'll just do our play-in tournament predictions. But, I mean, it benefits Golden State, or particularly right now, Steph, because, he's older. And then that's not a far flight from Golden State to, or I should say from the Bay Area to Salt Lake City. So, it benefits him. Like everybody else is younger, so it don't matter. And they don't have James Wiseman too, so.
No, definitely. Yeah, that's the thing. So Wiseman is out for sure. But this, and I wanted to get into that just briefly, bro. A lot of these people talking about Wiseman shouldn't have been picked, and I'm like, bro, this kid is only 20 years old.
Thank you.
And he only played 7 games. Like that, you see, the problem with today's NBA analysis or lack thereof of legit analysis is, first of all, everybody can't be, and this is a wrestling term, but everything is wrestling. Everybody can't be champion. Mm-hmm. There's only one champion. Mm-hmm. It's number 1. Number 2, development, and I discussed this in a room earlier because I had a Knicks room after they won a straight clubhouse, and I said the same thing. I said Development does not happen over a draft combine and a draft. Development does not mean once you get drafted that person's ready to play. Like, granted, that person's ready to contribute, but that player needs to understand the system, the culture, the identity of whatever franchise that player is going to, the players that he plays with every day, communicating with people. That shit takes time. That shit does not happen in 1 week. It doesn't happen in 2 weeks. It can happen in a year, 2, 3, 4 years. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't understand that development takes time. So that was just my little rant on, I just wanted to say that real quick because a lot of people I was reading what people were saying to him. I'm like, bro, this kid is not even he can't even fucking drink yet, and you want him to get traded?
Exactly. I mean, it's just this is the best thing I could say, and I can't particularly blame it all on NBA 2K, but I feel like NBA 2K has a lot to do with what goes on in NBA 2K is more popular it seemed to be than the goddamn overall real game. Like the past 2 years, they said that ratings have declined, but yet people playing 2K even when they hate it and they throw tantrums, man. So these fantasy bookings are based on the video game, and that's how these fanboys, particularly, and I've been saying this for a while, particularly place the game. They don't watch it. We talked about that before. They just watch highlights. So yeah, like, bro, like it's funny. I saw a tweet and I was thinking about this earlier too, ironically, that somebody said when NBA players turn 21, they just throw them to the side, like how that Andy or whoever do Woody in Toy Story. Like, I don't want to play with you no more. It's like as soon as you turn it's like as soon as you turn like 21 in the NBA, it's kind of like you old. Like, bro, he only been there for like 2 years.
Right.
Like, if you 30 in the NBA, they think you young, you old. It's like, bro, this ain't the NFL. So it's just one of the things, like, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, he didn't even play at Memphis. Like, you know what I mean? They basically kicked him out of the NCAA, so he didn't have a lot of time to play. So going from that to, you can practice, you can do drills, but you're not playing a full-on game. And then you go straight to the NBA after that. So you haven't got a lot of reps in. So it's like, and then injuries happen. That always happens. I don't know what people want, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to talk about the goofies. It's like, bro, like he gonna be all right. He only 20 years old.
Definitely not. But let's go into the East, man. Listen, bro. I just wanted the Knicks, and if you could give me a moment, I'm gonna cut my promo on the Knicks if you don't mind. If I could just, get the mic for a little bit.
Go ahead.
Listen, bro. Like I said earlier in the season, like Banks and I have talked offline with everybody who I've talked to offline who knows me. Banks, what did I tell you? I'm happy with 500, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If I get a 500 season, if we make the playoffs, cool. If we don't make the playoffs, fuck it. But you know what? A 500 season, considering where the Knicks were at what the Knicks record was last year, I'm cool with 500. I'm cool with a 500 record.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks are about to finish at 500. Vegas had them at 21.5 wins. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks, right now, on a 9-game winning streak, have 34. Okay? 34 and 27. We are the 4th seed in the East, bro. Okay? If we stay on the 4th seed, not only do we get in the playoffs, we get home court advantage. We weren't supposed to be here, bro.
At all.
Do you know what the Knicks record was last season through 60 games?
Wasn't y'all like 20 and 40?
It was
like
18 and you were close, but it's 18 and 42.
Mm-hmm.
We were 33 and 27. All right. 9-game winning streak. We bring in some good teams in that too. We beat. Let's look at the 9-game winning streak actually. Okay. So the last one was against the Celtics, which we played like shit, and we almost won 2. The Nets, we lost 2. Okay, yeah, the Nets, we had the low 2-game winning streak. We beat the Grizzlies in overtime, who we were down 15-2 in the 4th quarter. Came back and won that. Beat the Raptors, which, okay, the Raptors are teetering out of the playoffs, but okay. Then we beat the Lakers. Yes, they didn't have LeBron and AD, and I know Laker fans are fucking complain. They complained already, but you know what? You play who's
Man,
in front of
Laker
you,
fans
right?
complain,
Hey,
bro.
you play. Listen, you play who's in front of you, right? When
Them
it's the Knicks is
motherfuckers
a
complain
problem.
all the time. Yeah, they complain about Eric, bro. They complain when they winning. All right, I
All
grew up
right,
around Laker fans. Them motherfuckers complain when they winning, bro. Fuck the Laker fans.
let's continue. Let's continue. The Pelicans. Yes, granted, the Pelicans are on the playoffs. We could have lost that game too because Zion was going crazy, but we won. The Mavericks, who are a playoff team, beat them. No, actually, no. Yeah. The Pelicans game, we were up in the third quarter. Then we came around and won that one. The second game against OT on last Sunday, we were losing that game. Came back and won. The Hornets, who are also another surprise playoff team. Shout out to the Hornets. Now that I've officially moved them out of the city, I do have love for the Hornets regardless. But it's still Knicks country over here in my apartment where I'm living at right now. Even though I'm in their respective city. But we beat the Hornets too. Then the Hawks, which is a fucking bloodbath, which that game was an ugly game. We still beat them in overtime. And then we made quick work of the Raptors yesterday. Okay. Now, granted, the Suns did lose today against Brooklyn, and they're gonna come tomorrow angry against the Knicks. But if the Knicks beat the Suns, and I get 10 straight wins out of this team, I don't want to hear anything about the Knicks can't do this and the Knicks can't do that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've been playing fucking defense. Julius Randle's been playing out of his fucking mind. And Julius Randle, people were like, nah, he should have won Most Improved Player. But if the Knicks get fourth in the East, I know Most Improved shouldn't be based off your record because people were saying Chris Boucher should win it from Toronto. There are a couple other people. I'm sorry. Objectively, and I'm gonna say this as a fan, Julius Randle should win most improved player. Granted,
I
yes,
think so.
he was the best player on the team last year, but you know what? He was last year. But you know what he did? He took advantage. He took rightful ownership of what he's supposed to be, which is the leader of this team. And let's go into the splits. So right now he's averaging 24 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, 6 assists. Last year was 19.5. Oh, wait, and off his shooting splits, mind you, excuse me. I'm sorry to not put that in there, but let's see. His 3-point percentage is 41.6%. Field goal percentage, 46.2% field goal percentage with 36, with 41.6 from 3-point land. Last year, that was 19.5 points per game, 3.1 assists, 9.7 rebounds. But off his shooting splits, he was 27.7% from shooting, 27.7% from 3-point range.
Mm-hmm.
And playing 5 more minutes a game too, because then it turns into because he's playing 5 more minutes. But okay, he's getting more reps and he's consistently good. And the team is in 4th place in the East. This was a team that wasn't supposed to make the playoffs.
Right.
We were supposed to have 22 wins this year. But Julius Randle's been playing his ass off. RJ Barrett's been playing very well. Granted, he still has his weird games where he goes 1 for 7 in the first quarter, in the first half. But in the second quarter, he's been coming along. And I think he has the highest, if I remember correctly, I looked at the number where he has the highest scoring average in the second half amongst the NBA. Where he's averaging he's averaging I think it's 14.5 points per game in the second half. And I'm going to get that stat correct because I did see that. But let me just double check real quick because I did have that stat up somewhere. Let's see. I'm gonna find it eventually, but yeah, there was a stat where he's averaging 14 points per game in second halves, which is great. The Derrick Rose trade, which at first I was opposed to because I was like, Emmanuel Quickly was playing really well. Alfred Payton, y'all know how I feel about him. I will personally drive him to JFK and take his baggage claim, but he's holding his own. Derrick Rose, in the last 11 games, his averaging 16 points per game and 4 assists per game, 51% field goal percentage. He is plus 75 in that span. And y'all know me, I'm not really plus or minus, man. But D Rose has been great. RJ Barrett in the last 5 games, 21.4 points per game, 6.2 rebounds, 3.2 3-pointers made on a 45, 44, and 83% split, which is great considering how shitty he shot last year. And it was David Fizdale's fault. And that was because they I don't know if you know this, the Knicks made him switch his shooting mechanics last year. That's why he shot like shit. In training camp, he had a certain way he was shooting, and then he was shooting with it. When the Knicks staff recognized the Fizdale staff, they made him change his shot, and that's why he shot like ass. Now with Tom Thibodeau coming in, they told him, listen, go back to what you were doing. If it's working for you, it's working for you, and look how well he's shooting. We have Emmanuel Quickly, who's been playing lights out. Yes, he hit the rookie wall, but he's been contributing. Alec Burks is hurt, but you know what? He's been our fourth quarter guy. Even Reggie Bullock is shooting really well. And Reggie Bullock, I don't really care for. He's done well. Nerlens Noel is a $5 million steal. Nerlens Noel is a $5 million steal. Bro, that might be the most underrated signing of the year. That's the bargain deal of the year, if you ask me.
No, I agree. Because the thing is, he left OKC where he was a productive player last season. And then I think wasn't he supposed to get a big contract or he declined the offer?
He was supposed to get the deal from Dallas, but he declined it, yes. And then he kept getting hurt.
Yeah, but then he went to the Knicks, and is he getting a vet's minimum right now?
I think his year was, it was a $5 million deal.
Okay, so they probably give him a player with no player option.
It was just a 1-year deal. That was it.
Okay, so he definitely gonna get a good contract.
He's gonna get re-signed. He's gonna get, if I'm the Knicks, you re-sign Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks because those two guys definitely have played really good roles in this team. Mm-hmm. Alec Burks has always been a bucket, and yeah, Utah he didn't really get much burn. Golden State he did really well, but unfortunately they had to get rid of him for the. He was playing well in Golden State, but then when they did the D'Angelo Russell trade, they had to get rid of him to make it happen. It was a contract thing, so he wanted to resign. Then he ended up going to Philly because of because of Golden State's issue with what the aftermath of the Golden State D'Angelo Russell deal, and then the Knicks signed him. So, listen, man, Alec Burks has been playing well. Listen, and the thing is too is I'm glad that we are over the shitty let's trade for C. I heard people saying, listen, bro, I heard somebody saying that Zach LaVine should get into the All-NBA over Julius Randle, that Zach LaVine's a better player and he would be great immediately on this team. I don't want Zach LaVine on this team anymore. I'm glad we didn't make that trade. Okay? I'm glad we let this team grow. And this is no disrespect to Zach LaVine. I'm not disrespecting him at all. But I'm glad that this team did not make any stupid moves with this gradual incline that they've made this year. They've let this team grow. They've let this team adapt to what's going on. The organization has let these players suffer. They've let these players learn from their losses, and it's showing.
Yeah.
This is called, Banks, what's the one word this is called? Development. This is how you develop an identity. This is how you develop a culture. This is how you develop a franchise. The Knicks have an identity again. They play defense, bro. They just, even when they're shooting like shit, it's always that if you realize, even the games when they've shot like shit and they won, you know why? Because they didn't quit on defense. Eventually, them shots that they're missing in the first, second, and second quarter, they're gonna hit in the third or fourth.
Yeah,
it happened in the Grizzlies game. It happened on this whole issue where there were stretches where they were down, down sizable leads, and they came back slowly but surely, grinded out, and won these games. And that's because of identity. So I just want to say, first of all, like I said, when they got this front office, that people were shitting on the Tom Thibodeau hire. You know what? Tom Thibodeau is one of the last few people who knew what it meant to win in fucking New York City. Okay? He was the Jeff Van Gundy assistant. So Tom Thibodeau's been there when the Knicks were good. And then you get a lot of reputable people. You get Leon Rose, who has ties to the Knicks. You have Worldwide Russ. You have Kenny Payne, Johnny Bryant, all those guys. Even Mike Woodson, who, best of luck to him in Indiana, he was one of the last few coaches who knew how to fucking win in New York City. Mm-hmm. And we finally have a reputable, respectable front office that's built an identity. So to everybody who's been talking shit on the Knicks and doesn't think the Knicks are gonna do this, fuck you. I'm sorry if you're hearing this. Go fuck you. And I want to say I was right. I told you. With this front office, it may not take this year. It'll take 2 to 3 years, and the Knicks will be doing what they need to do. And not even that, they've established a culture because I don't know if you heard about this, but with a couple of the G League guys, you know what they did for them? They signed them to 10-day to 2-way contracts, so that basically because the G League bubble's over.
Yeah.
So they signed them to 2-way contracts so that they could get extra money, and then they released them. So it's like, yo, listen, thank you for playing in the G League. You get your money now. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Who does that? The Knicks back then wasn't going to do that.
No, not at all.
Like, I have the numbers up right now. So, in case you're wondering, and this is from a dude named Fred Hendricks. I think he writes for the Knicks. Yeah, he writes. He's a Knick blogger, but a G League player's salary is $35,000. A 2-way salary is $450,000. The Knicks spread their cap roll to G League stars by signing them to a 2-way and cutting them. So that's basically like a, hey, man, here's a Knicks paycheck. Here's your money. All right, bro, go ahead and do what you got to do. What other franchise does that? The Knicks we're not doing that years ago. And in the same way, the Knicks could have easily gave that 15 spot up to a veteran who just was looking to get a deal. And they said, no, we're going to keep it in-house and give these guys their money, and they could do what they got to do. So I'm done with my Knicks promo. All I want to say was I wasn't completely right, but I was kind of right.
No, you were. Because the thing is, like, I know a lot of Knicks fans that were saying, if we just make it to 500, that's good, which is sad because, you know what I mean, this is one of the most prominent sports franchises in history. And y'all saying that, it's like, damn, you don't want to reach for the stars, so to speak. You don't want to go for the main thing, which is the playoffs. But now that you're there and you definitely going to make the playoffs, like the playoffs start, what, next month?
Yeah, May 16th, I think.
Yeah, so you're already there. So it's just – and you there right now, as of right now, with a 9-game winning streak too, which is amazing even more.
Yep.
I mean, man, 2021 blessings. That's all I can say.
No team had – the only other team with a 9-game winning streak is the one Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And oh yeah. Oh, let me not forget too. And he's not Banks' favorite player, but most year either most loved player, most hated player, who was still the face of the NBA after 18 years. You know what that man said? When the NBA, when the Knicks are great, the NBA is great.
That is true.
So
it's absolutely true.
I didn't even say it. As a Knicks fan, I didn't even say that. Ramon fucking James said that shit, okay?
Oh no, LeBron's one of my favorite players. He's one of my favorite players of all time. I got love for
LeBron. You know how polarizing he is, and there were the little the Shy Jock analysts, even Max Kellerman, who's from New York, and Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith he has his days with the Knicks. But Max Kellerman hated the Tom Thibodeau hire. I remember what Shannon Sharp said. Shannon Sharp said, "What the fuck are they doing? That Tom Thibodeau is going to be a terrible hire for the Knicks." And look, bro, they're so good and they want to work so hard that Tom Thibodeau had to lock the gym doors because they want to work so fucking hard. Are you fucking kidding me?
And it's hard to get that. It's hard to get that from an older coach as well. You know what I mean? Because a lot of young players,
in a young team too. This team is fairly young.
Oh, they are young.
But hey, we don't have to call this. We don't have to call this podcast. They don't have the subtitle of this podcast. Gonna have to be "Show Your Work." They called us madmen too, because y'all called me a madman. I said 500 and we good. We gonna be fine.
If we call the title Knicks Tape 2, that's gonna be crazy. This is the second podcast I'm a part of with somebody from New York that cut a promo about the Knicks, and it's like, yo, if we call this Knicks Tape 2, what are we doing here?
Listen, bro, I've been chilling the whole year. I just said, listen, I'm happy where we at. I haven't had no shit. But after 8 games, I said, you know what?
You got to.
And that's the thing, bro. And the thing is, bro, listen, I just wanted, like I said, a 500 year where we beat the whack teams we supposed to beat. And if we even give a fight against the top 4 teams, like the Nets, the Bucks, the Sixers, I'm cool with that. Every game, except for like the first month and a half of the year, every game against those teams has been down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I know you're tired of hearing Knicks promos, but I don't give a fuck.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry,
straight.
I had to cut it, man. I had to.
It's straight. My enthusiastic could be higher if the goddamn Bulls decide to ever do something, but that's neither here nor there.
Hey man, because I got Denzel Valentine shooting them damn threes.
All right, what's the next topic? I'm so fucking tired of hearing his name, bro.
I'm sorry, bro.
Okay. The Three Stooges, they should add the Four Stooges, even though they in hell. I mean, they did. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
The fourth,
bro.
I didn't mean to say that for real. The fourth Stooge should be Denzel Valentine, bro. He out here playing like the old Globetrotters against the Generals, bro. He playing like the Generals. The same shit for years, bro. Since he been on the team. All he been in suits and vibes. Suits, vibes, and bad shots.
Suits and vibes.
And bad shots. That's all he do. And you got to have waves. That's all you know. That's all you know Denzel Valentine for in the NBA. Having waves or even waves in the afro, whatever the fuck type of hairstyle. Having waves, bad shots, and being on the bench with a suit. That's all you know Denzel Valentine for.
Yeah, suits and bad vibes is hilarious.
Like, I keep swearing up and down. Like, I'm like, Otto Porter, is that you? I was confused legit when they was on the team together. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, man. What is Otto Porter? Is Otto Porter still playing? He got traded, right?
To the Magic, yeah. We got
all right, yeah, because y'all got that deal. Yeah, I'm fucked up for saying that, man. That was a good deal for y'all. Even though Vooch.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Forget Otto Porter. I ain't talking about Otto Porter since Georgetown.
Remember when Otto Porter got stomped out in China?
He got beat up.
Y'all, you don't remember the Georgetown fight when they went to Georgetown? They went to go play. I think it was a pro team in China or like a collegiate team.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I just try to remember when.
It's an important picture, bro. I would tell you to share your screen and show that picture. That picture's hilarious.
I can't do it, bro. The reason why I'm trying to forget all the times that light skinned dudes have taken L's.
He got a boot. He almost got a boot to the face, bro.
Oh no, they definitely about to hit him with a jet lead kick.
Bro, Otto Porter was about to get a leaning to the face, man.
He's about to get the Shang-Chi treatment.
He's about to get, bro. He almost caught an Anta to the face, bro. He almost got a Starbird to the face.
Imagine that getting hit in the face with Klay Thompson.
Imagine getting stomped down some Ling Nings, bro.
You're like JaVale McGee shoes. You getting socked out in JaVale McGee signature shoes.
That's crazy. How you get stomped out of some Aaron Gordon signatures?
Damn, Aaron Gordon was signed to them.
Bruh. He got stomped out some Dwayne Wades. That's crazy.
Hey, them D Wades was fire. I just didn't buy that because they was $120. I'm thinking they was gonna be $20.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, bro, why are these shoes $120, bro? I can get some Nike Air Max. I can get some KDs with this, bro.
Damn, that's fucking wild. Imagine, bro. Imagine
dropping 120.
Bro, imagine getting beat up. Bro, what do you do if you get beat up by some fucking? Like you gotta go to the trunk, right?
You gotta basically do like Pop Smoke did in that movie. You gotta cuss them out or be Gran Torino. You gotta be like racial at that point.
Being Gran Torino's crazy.
You got to, bro. You getting socked out by like 100,000 Asians on the home court, bro. You gonna lose, bro.
But they was kicking him like he stole something.
Yeah, he thought he was fighting Neo all at the same time. 100 meters. I am the one.
Yeah, you the one getting your ass beat.
Right. My son getting stomped out in shoes that's made over there, like getting stomped out. These are new Jordans. Where you get them from? I just made them myself.
He was getting stomped out and shoes. They was testing the shoes out. That's what they were doing. That's all.
Yeah, let's see this hyper balance. Let me get
Oh
on my
yeah,
toes.
these hyper dunks work. All right, Nike, you could sell them.
Yo, imagine he in the new Jordans that's about to come out, and then he getting the Coup de Grace for Finn Balor. Yeah, these work.
You get a Jordan shoe print on your chest. I think he is a Jordan athlete too, or was at one point.
No, he was.
Yeah, because of Georgetown. That's
Jordan was like,
hilarious,
"Hey, bro, you can't wear my shoes if you getting beat up.
You,
I get my Nikes, I get my Jordan brand made over there."
He said, "Man, fuck." He said, "Fuck your chest, man. Fuck."
Right.
That's
Like,
crazy.
put the cigar in his chest. Like Jordan just up here putting cigar ashes on his chest for the losses.
That's crazy, bro. How you get your ass be like that? But let's move on. So the Kobe Nike deal. So with the Kobe Nike deal, I don't know if you saw, but Nike's contract is officially done with Kobe Bryant. So my fault. So with Kobe's deal, the Nike contract expired as of this week, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So they were supposed to be talking to renewals, but it looks like they just let the contract run out. So they have a short window which they could continue selling the shoes. According to Vanessa Bryant, supposedly there's going to be 2 more Kobe's that are coming out, and then that's their contract for now. So Kobe's, but here's the thing with Kobe's deal. Kobe's been signed since 2000. I want to say it was 2003 was when he signed. Yeah. So, if we know Kobe Bryant with his deals, he was with Adidas before when he came to the league. He signed with Adidas in 1996. He had a couple signature shoes, which were the KB8, and the KB8 II. Then he had the Kobe, the moon boots. You remember those?
I was trying to get it there.
Yeah, he had the moon boots. Then he had I think he had 4 signature sneakers if I remember correctly, because he had a couple sneakers that were kind of his, but he didn't have the name on it. Like he had the EQT Elevation, he had the Top 10 2000s, which he was wearing, and then he finally got the KB8, which we know as the Crazy 8 now, obviously because of branding reasons. They can't call it the KB8. Then he had the KB8 II. Like we said, we had the moon boots, the Kobe's, and then he had the Kobe II. And then in 2003, he ended up going to Nike. In which we know he had the Huarache 2K4, which was supposed to be his first sneaker, but then we know what happened with the case in Colorado, so they didn't give him a shoe. That he just kept wearing that shoe, and then actually in 2005, I think it was 2006, he ended up getting the Kobe 1, which basically extended 11 shoes, and then after he retired, he had the Kobe AD line, which is basically a Kobe, basically like a post playing career Kobe line. But we've seen as of recently, even after his death, Nike's been retroing his sneakers with Pro Tros. They retroed the Kobe 1 for a while while he was still here. Then after it was the Kobe 4. They retroed the 5 and the 6 as well, which those sneakers have gone basically in limited quantities. There are a couple situations where have been going on with that, where there have been rumors that Vanessa Bryant, now that Kobe's gone, she wanted them to be sold in more quantities, for fans, obviously. But of course, Nike basically didn't listen to her, and those sneakers go out in 2 seconds on the sneakers app, and then those sneakers sell for 3 to 5 times the retail price on StockX or wherever. The thing with Kobe's shoes, from my personal opinion, I've liked his shoes, honestly. Like, I did have the Crazy 8s as a kid. I bought them when Adidas will re-release them, even without his name. I've worn the 1s, which I still have a pair of. I've had a pair of 10. I think I've had the 1s, the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, which the 6 is my favorite basketball shoe of all time. That was the first shoe that I felt confident playing in low tops, and I've never gone back since. And then I've had 10s and 11s. And I've had a couple of his other sneakers here and there, but the thing with Kobe's line is amongst performance guys, like guys who actually go play ball, Kobe sneakers are very good. But when it comes to fashion, he hasn't done, they're not the most fashionable looking sneakers. And that was one thing that he wasn't the biggest fan of. He thought that he wasn't marketed correctly, according to his family and even people who were close to Kobe, like such investors, which I named before. Which is interesting about Kobe is that Nike didn't sign him to basically a lifetime contract, like they did with Michael Jordan and they done with LeBron James, who came after Kobe Bryant. And that's just kind of interesting to me because maybe they didn't see him as him being valuable. And the thing too is, if you really think about it, a lot of Kobe's that people are right now are either limited edition colors or unique colors that never either never came out or were sneakers that were fairly limited, which I think kind of hurts his market value amongst the Nike signature athletes. Um, you know, I'm interested to see what happens with him. I just want to hear what your I want to hear what your perspective is on this, and then I'll kind of go into what Kobe was planning to do had Nike's deal ended. But I'll let you go ahead first.
Oh, that's what I was actually going to talk about. That's all. I just remember that this was a rumor 2019. Apparently, that came out a couple months ago that he was actually going to leave Nike. That was the rumor that he was going to leave, not that the contract expired. He was going to actually just leave Nike to start his brand, and I think that's where he was about to go with that one.
Right. Yeah, I have the tweets up. I don't know if you want to read them. I'll read them, but
if you got them, you can read them.
Yeah,
or if you want to, you can send it to me. I can put it on the screen as well.
Yeah, I'll pop it up right now. I'll actually send you the tweet that has basically all the tweets together, but let me just see if I can get into you right now.
Yeah, just send them to the Twitter DM, and I'll put it up.
Send the Twitter DM? All right, cool, I got you. I'll show you what the sneakers look like, too. I'm sending it to you right now. Give me 1 second. Fucking just giving me a problem.
Oh, take your time.
I got you right now. I just sent you the tweets just now. This was from Nice Kicks, but what they did was they kind of put the tweets together.
All right, give me a second. I'll pull it up. All right, here we go. Put it on screen. Good lesson. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. Share screen. Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, so I have it actually from the guy. I sent you that last.
Let me know if you can see it.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's check it right now. Just check your most recent DM because I have the actual
Yeah, because this is what I met.
Because I'm not honestly.
a couple months ago.
I don't really trust Darren Ravel's opinions on shit. So just check your last DM because I sent you the actual guy's Twitter where he tweeted about it. If you scroll down all the way down, yeah. There you go. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, Banks, you could read. I mean, if you want to read that, I'll read it. It's up to you.
Okay, I'll read it. Shervan Pishivar. I don't know how you say his last name. And I quote, and this is from December 29th, 2020. This is when I also read this as well. Right. I met with Kobe Bryant in late December 2019. Kobe wasn't happy with Nike and was going to leave it in 2020. Kobe was going to start Mamba, a shoe company owned by players. He passed away weeks later. What he was about to do in business was going to eclipse his sports career. It's funny too, because I didn't get to finish it, but I was actually watching Jeannie Buss on All the Smoke, and they were talking about how in business he wanted to dominate in that as well. So,
right.
But yeah, I read this in 2020 as well.
Right, and then he continued also in the thread because he actually made a whole thread about this, but
let me see.
because he wanted to make an independent company called the Mamba. He wanted to call it Mamba. That was going to be his own shoe company. And those are some of the pictures that are, it's weird. They kind of look like the moon boots from the first Adidas, but yeah, these are designs that he showed for the independent company. And then he wanted to do it like basically, he wanted to do kind of make like a Mamba Fitness app to it, integrated with coaching and motivational features. And he wanted to make like a player-based shoe company that was for the players and actually owned by players as well, where actual NBA players or any athlete was, he can make me do like a soccer shareholder with those types of guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
So people, and we've heard, day in and day out, he wasn't happy with Nike's marketing and the promotion commitment to Kobe's line. I mean, if you compare to the sales of Jordans or LeBron's, the sales of his shoes weren't that good, which is hard, which is crazy to believe considering, how sought after his shoes were. But he always retained tight control over his brand because he didn't trust Nike's judgment in it after a while. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is interesting to see. I mean, it would have been pretty.
Would have been revolutionary.
It would have been pretty interesting to see what happened with that, because I think with Nike, there is a weird relationship too, because I remember, like we said at one point, Vanessa Bryant actually talked to him and said, "Listen, I want Kobe's to be more accessible to people, because obviously at one point Kobe's were very limited. We know how the sneakers app is. People every Saturday morning talk about, bro, I got L on these sneakers, what the fuck, and this, that, and the third, and complain about it. So it would have been interesting to see what happens with, what would have happened with Kobe had he either stuck with Nike or, they gave him a lifetime contract, which I was shocked he did not get. I didn't actually know that. I thought maybe, with the way they were releasing his sneakers, I'm like, okay, maybe they're doing this for, out of respect from his passing. And you know what, maybe he has a lifetime deal that, that will be announced shortly, which it never did. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens because, now that Vanessa is holding the state, whether they do an independent shoe company or not. But as of right now, according to Vanessa Bryant, there's only 2 Kobe releases left. And then after that, that was it.
No, I definitely think because it was something that came out the other day before they announced this deal expiring, going back to the Black Mamba brand as a whole. It was supposed to be like shoe wear, clothing wear for men and women, if I'm not mistaken. I got to look it up, but I saw that article, and that's before the deal was actually announced that it expired. The Nike deal actually expired. So I think that's still the plan. And it makes more sense for it to be the plan. He probably signed a deal that 13 years ago or 18 years ago, whenever it was. It probably was just like, it probably wasn't as much as it should have been as well. You know what I mean? Because with the endorsements, they never really talk about all his endorsements for the most part, which makes me think it's one reason as to why he's probably was going indie. And I mean, at that point, he could have went independent because he didn't need Nike. Like, to be honest, he hasn't needed Nike since probably since he signed that deal. He really didn't need Nike. If he would have been with Reebok or if he would have stayed with Adidas, that would have been fine as well. So I think now it's just basically the brand definitely is coming out because it's hard too. It's hard for the fans, like you were saying, to actually get their hands on the shoes. Like we know people that was trying to get the Grinch, Kobe's, the Christmas editions, and you can't get that. Like the shoe game this year has showed how terrible it is, though.
Right.
Like you keep hearing people saying like it's terrible to get them. Like yeah, they make it that way, and then they try to bypass it with these code modulations, so to speak, where you know what I mean. You go to the site and you do this, and then you'll get access to it. And people having problems with it. So she probably feels the same. Like, why would we renew the deal when people can't get their hands on the shoe? It's like it's a shoe, man. Like you basically doing this so people can resell it and make money off of that person, and they not getting a percentage off of that resale. They give them whatever they're getting from the contract incentive to make that money. It's like LeBron projected. Shouts out to him. LeBron's projected to be a billionaire this year. That's not because of the Nike deal. The Nike deal is a lifetime deal that eventually gets him to $1 billion. But that's not from the
Right.
Nike deal. That's from everything he's done.
No, definitely. Um, so for that right now, also I wanted to just uh, add on too. Vanessa also confirmed that the Kobe Bryant estate does own the right to the Mamba logo and the signature. The other logo that they use is mutually owned by Nike and Kobe, by Nike and the estate. Now the thing is too is before during the retirement, Kobe Bryant and the estate they grew frustrated with Nike, like I said before, because they were limiting the availability of his products. And there was also, I don't know if you realize this, there are never Kobe's in like there was barely, if ever, when they did these releases, there were barely any, if none at all, kid sizes for them too, which she was
Mm-hmm.
frustrated about as well. So they gave an extension offer because this last deal that did expire was like a 5-year post retirement extension. And it wasn't aligned with the with the expectations of the deals that they gave to Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Now, granted, I kind of feel like that's kind of fucked up because if you really think about it, Kobe was the face on the fit was the face, even though it wasn't his own sneaker, of three sneakers that are pretty important in the Nike line, which are the Huarache 2K4, which most people consider the best Nike basketball sneaker ever, if not one of them. The 2K5, which wasn't a slouch of a follow up either, and you had the Hyperdunk in the 2008 Olympics with the Aston Martin commercial where he was jumping over them and that whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. Then, not to mention with that, the Kobe 4, which came out when the Lakers won, that sneaker brought in the whole era of wearing low top sneakers in a basketball court, which was frowned upon for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, if you really look at the history, granted, yes, they didn't market his sneakers well in this and third, but he did have an impactful partnership with Nike that I feel even if he didn't pass away should be emphasized. And I feel like it's not.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. It's one of them things that because we never heard how much he was getting from the deal, or it probably was publicized years ago, but we was too young to pay attention to it. But I feel like what I mean, at that point around that time, they was giving a lot of people deals. Like T Mac, I think Adidas deal was like worth $100 million or something like that. So, because LeBron kind of started that with his deal in Nike, which was 18 years ago as well, when Kobe went to Nike after leaving Adidas, where it's like you get 90, $100 million for like a 10-year shoe deal or something like that, which was the first of its kind. Now, Zion is getting the same thing with Jordan brand. But I don't know Kobe how much they was paying him, but I think it goes back to what we hear Master P say and others like, man, he essentially wanted to own his own masters because that's where the money is in endorsement deals. So if you own your own shoe company or your own branding company, Black Mamba, like that would have sold like crazy. I mean, it's still coming out, so it's gonna sell even more, which is unfortunate. It's still gonna sell like crazy, but if he got to see it, he would see how crazy the sales would be, particularly in
Right.
China, where he's more popular over there. I wouldn't say more popular because he's popular worldwide,
But
but in
he
China,
that
they
those
definitely would have
definitely
been
helped his
buying it.
numbers though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely helped his numbers, with what he was doing in China. So, um, but it's going to be interesting because not only did Kobe leave, but Simone Biles left as well, the gymnast. So that's
Yeah.
two really big. Those are two really big vital parts of the Nike family that leave. So it's going to be interesting to see what Nike does, who they retain. Well, Simone Biles signed already. So she signed with, I forgot the name of the company, but she signed and she's getting online with that company. I think it's a more gymnast known brand as well. But she signed, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Kobe. Whether like I said, there's two more races left. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with whether they do retain or Vanessa decides to do something new because she knows that we know the power of Kobe Bryant and how much of his product sells out in seconds. whether it was Adidas or Nike, because people were still buying the Adidas shoes after Adidas rebranded them into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Me included. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens down the line with Kobe's deal and what the estate decides to do, in the next coming months or years. So
Yeah. It'll more so go to it just being owned by his wife. You know what I mean? Like I think definitely now it showed that
right,
you should have your own brand, man. I mean, Simone
definitely.
Biles might be doing the same thing as well. Because a lot of the things with Nike is just like, man, the shoe game is so messed up. They probably are seeing the numbers. It's like, bro, it's not adding up. So I'm signing. I could just make my own thing. I'm signing with this company, and shoes not moving. Like I think Adidas is more popular than Nike right now. It's always gonna be Jordan brand, but which is a part
Yeah,
of Nike. But it's more so now,
right.
just like, man, everybody go to Adidas. Puma's out there getting people to sign up as well,
Right.
under their branding. But more so now, it's just like, Nike is always going to be kind of up there as popularity as well as Jordan. But it's not a rush to go get shoes as much as it used to be because it's hard to get them.
Yep, it's a lot harder to get them, and the resale market is out of control now. So
Exactly. So people aren't really sweating it as much as they used to. Used to
definitely.
be able to stand in
But
line and get them, but now you can't even stand in line to get them.
no, yeah, especially with the pandemic, it got even more out of control. So, especially as somebody like myself who buys sneakers, who like I obviously have to chill because now that now I'm in an apartment and everything and moved out. But regardless, man, I've even gotten to the point that I used to get pissed. Like, damn, let me try to go find let me go to like 6, 7, 8 websites to go find the sneaker, maybe if somebody has them for retail. But now, bro, like that shit sells out in 5 minutes and then it's a dub. But by the time you click out of the tab and go look at a website, the sneaker's already double or triple in value. Even when you go on, like I have the Go app, even before the sneaker releases, like, oh well, this sneaker's released, like come check out the prices, and within minutes of the sneaker coming out, somebody's reselling them for double, triple retail, which is insane. I've never paid more than I think 220 for a pair of sneakers ever. If you can't get them, it's not even worth it anymore. Like the sneaker game is just it's done for, man. Like this just it's not in a good space. And I think, obviously one of the things if you want to look at is how even what Nike's done with Kobe. Like Nike considers Kobe, it seems like Nike considers Kobe more valuable in depth than they did when he was here, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. That's
Which is
literally how it always is in entertainment, sports, etc. More so entertainment. That's always the case.
definitely so. I mean, if y'all know if you have anything else to talk about, but I mean, the Super League, I was going to get into that actually with soccer and that big news that happened with the league going up and collapsing in 3 days. But to be honest, I'm going to read more into that in next week's episode. I'll go a little bit more in depth with it. So we'll definitely talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that. I'll table that for next episode because I definitely want to read more into it and read how you made a league in 3 days and it collapsed. So.
Absolutely. We're gonna let you run that ISO, and I'll probably look more into it when we record again. But for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Like, for people who don't know, so there was supposed to be talks of a Europe, quote unquote Europe Super League, which is basically the best soccer teams out of Europe. They have a tournament in Europe. I'll just explain it before before we're done. But there's the UEFA Champions League, which is basically the best. Is basically a yearly tournament with the best club teams in Europe. Now, some of those teams that are frequently in the Champions League, the most known soccer club teams in the world, were going to form their own league where basically they only play each other. So, for example, Barcelona was going to play Juventus out of Italy, which is Juventus is one of the most, if not the most popular club in Italy right now. Or, they would go play Real Madrid, but it wouldn't be in Spain. It would be in this league. Now, everybody in FIFA and all of the respective leagues in their domestic leagues in those countries took offense to it and said basically, "Oh, cool, you want to do your own league? You can't play you can't represent your national team, and you can't play in any other tournaments." So they would basically be relegated to play that one league. And it was more so used as a revenue thing where they could get all this revenue for their teams and their teams only. But like I said, a lot of the soccer federations in Europe and even the main one, which is UEFA, which is the European Football Federation, took offense to it and said, no, like we don't condone this, we're not agreeing with this. And teams started to pull out, and basically the league disbanded within 3 days. But like I said before, I'm gonna look more into it and explain that more on the next episode because, like I said, I've had a whirlwind week. As Banks knows, we talk off the record often, and he knows I've been running around all over the place. So I will come back next week with more information on that. I mean, Banks, you got anything else to talk about? If you don't want, that you have to talk.
No, brother. All I can really say is right now I'm watching the Padres versus the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
It's against my religion to watch the Dodgers, but it's still crazy that, you know what I mean, two teams
Shout
from where
out
I'm
Fernando
from.
Tatis.
Oh yeah, that's the guy. MLB the show cover star. It's just like, you know what I mean.
Baseball. He's bringing baseball back.
Yeah, bro. I might have to. He having the best season since Barry Bonds, as far as like
Yeah, he's the first guy to do he's the first guy to have multiple home run games at Dodger Stadium like in 1 year since Barry Bonds or some shit like that.
Yeah, since 2002 with Barry Bonds.
But hey, listen, man. Listen. Shout out to Fernando Tatis. Eventually, when I'm able to start making fruitful purchases, I will cop that Tatis Padres jersey because he deserves it.
Same.
All I want to say is, man, make baseball fun again, bro. I like, if my man want to hit home run and jog, you know what you do if you a pitcher? Don't fucking hit him in the head with a baseball the next inning, bro. Bro, why don't you try to strike him out? Why don't you go talk to your pitching coach? Y'all, the pitchers get to go kick and scream and yell when they strike out a batter, but when a batter hits a home run, yeah, I'm gonna throw a baseball at his head. Like that'll teach him. I love how Fernando Tatis Jr. is saying fuck all the unwritten baseball rules every single time he plays. So he has a fan in me, and as well as in Banks. We got to make baseball fun again. All right. Let's wear the chains. Let's celebrate when we hit home runs. Let's celebrate when we get outs. You know what I mean? That's what it's about, bro. Listen, it's the spirit of competition, and it's also supposed to be fun, bro. Listen, bro, he hit a home run off you, know what you do? Go talk to your pitching coach. Go see what you did wrong and try to strike him out the next time. That's all it is. Hitting a batter with a pitch does nothing but make you look stupid. You're like a pussy, first of all. So that's it, man. Make baseball fun again.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, but other than that, that's it, bro. Shouts out to you as well, my guy, my co-host, episode or volume 17, even though it's episode, but we go by volumes. Yeah. Volume 17. Y'all can find me at Banks No Rest, BANKS NOREST 2. And go ahead and get your plug in, brother, because I was actually trying to look for your plug. I know how to spell it, but then the original will throw me off. I'll be like ORINGEL. I'll be messing it up.
It's NEL, yeah. So yeah, it's who is original. It's basically spelled original, but instead of the A, you put the E in because my name is Nelson, obviously, duh. But yeah, man, follow us. Volume 17. This was good. I don't know what the title of this episode. I think I might call it Suits and Bad Vibes.
Hey, man. Denzel Valentine, Suits and Bad Vibes. Please, bro.
Bad shots, suits, and vibes. That's all Denzel Valentine contributes to the Chicago Bulls.
In ways, bro.
Because I was gonna call it mixtape, but Banks already got a podcast. Banks been hearing Knicks fans be happy for a whole week. This is probably weird for people, but hey.
Well, regardless, man. Is happy, bro.
From Knicks to Bull fan, thank you, man. I appreciate it. When you come up, I'll be happy for y'all too. Trust me. Y'all there. Y'all scratch. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to. Don't take this as disrespect. What the Bulls are doing right now is what the Knicks, or what I thought the Knicks would be doing right now. If that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
Where they're there, but they're not there. That's what. If the Knicks were there with the Bulls right now, I still would have been okay. But because we doing what we're supposed to do, I'm through the roof. So, but listen, man, this is another great episode. Follow both of us. And until next time, we out of here, man. Stay safe. Wear a mask. wash your ass, and stop listening to First Take, man. All right,
Please, they old
and most importantly, show your work.
always.
All right, we out of here later.